Chosen one. Why are you still scrolling when heaven just stopped everything to find you? Why does your chest feel tight right now, like something ancient and holy just whispered your name? Why can't you look away from these words, even though a voice in your head is screaming for you to close this video and run? Stop. Right there. Don't move. This message has been deleted 3 times before it reached you. 3 times. Blocked. Buried. Hidden in the digital chaos like the enemy knew. He knew that if you heard what I'm about to tell you, his grip on your life would shatter like glass hitting concrete. And yet, you're still here. That's not the algorithm, beloved. That's not luck. That's not coincidence. That's heaven breaking through the static, crashing through the interference, tearing down every spiritual firewall the enemy built around your mind, because what God has to say to you tonight cannot wait 1 more second. Listen to me carefully. 3 nights ago, at 2:47 a.m., I was awakened not by a sound, but by a presence. The room went cold, then warm. My spirit trembled. And in that holy silence, I heard a voice that didn't come from my head or my heart. It came from beyond. And that voice said your name. Not everyone's name. Yours. The heavens paused. Time bent. Your name flashed across the cosmos in light, and God himself left this final note for you. Not a suggestion, not advice. A final divine interruption before everything in your life shifts violently into alignment. You feel it, don't you? That flutter in your chest. That's not anxiety, that's recognition. Your spirit knows what your mind hasn't figured out yet. You were supposed to be here. This isn't just another inspirational video. This is a conspiracy of heaven. Unseen forces, angels, principalities, cosmic powers have been fighting behind the veil to get this message into your hands. Think of it like static breaking through an old radio at midnight, crackling and hissing, until finally a voice cuts through clear and sharp. Chosen one. It's time. Before we go 1 inch further, I need you to do something. Like this message, subscribe right now, and comment 99, because 99 means heaven is leaving the 99 sheep safe in the fold to come search for you, the one who thought God forgot. He didn't forget. He's been hunting you down through every trial, every betrayal, every sleepless night. And tonight? Tonight he found you. Thank you to every single one of you who has supported this message through super thanks. Your generosity means more than you know. You're not just donating, you're helping spread light to others who feel alone in their calling. Whether you give or not, I'm deeply grateful for your presence here. Your support, your time, your attention, it all matters. And if this message is already stirring something deep in your soul, go ahead, sow that seed of faith. Here's the shocking truth. You didn't stumble onto this video. You were intercepted, divinely interrupted. The trajectory of your entire life just changed and you don't even know it yet. This is your final note. Your last warning before the door closes and the season shifts. Why are you still here? Because deep down, beneath the doubt, beneath every scar the world carved into your faith, you know. You've always known. This was always meant for you. Heaven broke protocol to find you. Now let's find out why. Do you know what it feels like to pray for 30 years and hear nothing but silence? Do you know what it's like to watch everyone around you get their breakthrough while you're still standing at the same locked door, knocking until your knuckles bleed? Do you know the exhaustion of believing God called you only to spend decades wondering if you misheard his voice? Listen to me, beloved. Every single prayer you thought God ignored, he was recording it. Every tear you cried in the dark, he was collecting it in a bottle. Every moment you felt abandoned, he was positioning you. This message you're hearing right now has been deleted 3 times, buried by forces that knew if this transmission reached you, their entire strategy would collapse. But here's what hell didn't count on. No force in the underworld can silence what heaven has ordained. This message resurrected itself because you were destined to hear it. If you're watching this right now, you were not found by the algorithm. Heaven intercepted your scroll. God himself rerouted your attention because what I'm about to release over your life cannot wait another second. You've been carrying spiritual exhaustion like a weight on your chest. You've watched younger generations run past you toward their destiny while you convinced yourself your season expired. You've prayed prayers that seem to hit a concrete ceiling and fall back down unanswered. But what if I told you that every delay was divine design? What if every silence wasn't rejection, it was sacred surgery? God wasn't ignoring you. He was preparing you for an assignment so massive that if he'd given it to you 10 years ago, it would have crushed you. Habakkuk 2-3 says it clearly, "Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay." You think you've been waiting, but heaven says you've been incubating. There's a difference between delay and preparation, beloved. What you thought was God forgetting you was actually God refining you. And Isaiah 43-19 echoes across time into this very moment. "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? The new thing isn't coming. It's already springing up beneath your feet right now. You just haven't felt the ground shift yet." Type "I'm ready" in the comments if you can feel the tremor in your spirit. Because readiness isn't hope, it's heaven's password. It's your access code to what's been waiting behind the veil. Here's what's about to break your understanding wide open. This month isn't ending the way it began. Heaven has scheduled a global shift before October closes, a recalibration of destiny, a reordering of purpose, an acceleration that will make the last decade look like slow motion. You're not watching this by accident. You're part of the final transmission, the last wave of chosen ones being activated before the door closes and the season shifts. The exhaustion ends tonight. The silence breaks now. The waiting, it just became your greatest weapon, because what's coming next will rewrite everything you thought you knew about your calling. Chosen one, do you feel that? That low rumble beneath your feet? That pressure building in the atmosphere like the sky itself is holding its breath? That's not weather. That's not your imagination running wild at midnight. That's the sound of heaven cracking its knuckles before it moves. Listen to me very carefully. In the next 72 hours, something is going to shift in the spiritual realm so violently that even the natural world will feel it. Satellites will glitch. Winds will roar without warning. Technology, your phones, your computers, the very systems you trust will tremble because heaven is about to speak so loudly that creation itself has no choice but to bow. You think I'm being dramatic? Then explain this. Why have you been waking up at 3 a.m. with your heart pounding? Why do you walk into rooms and forget why you're there, like time itself is accelerating? Why does everything feel different? Like the air is charged with something you can't name but your spirit recognizes? That's the earthquake before the earthquake. That's your soul feeling the tremors of divine disruption before your eyes can see the evidence. Your spirit always knows first, always. The prophet Haggai saw this coming. Haggai 2:6-7 says this, "Once more, in a little while, I will shake the heavens and the earth, and I will fill this house with glory." Do you hear that? God doesn't whisper when he's ready to move. He shakes, he disrupts. He overturns tables, breaks chains, and tears down every false structure that's been blocking your breakthrough. And beloved, every storm you've endured up until now, every betrayal that left you gasping for air, every loss that made you question if God was even listening, that wasn't punishment. That was rehearsal. You were being trained to stand steady when lesser souls would crumble. Because what's coming isn't doomsday, this is destiny day. But here's where it gets personal. Here's where heaven stops speaking to the masses and starts whispering your name. You're going to feel this before you see it. One morning soon, you'll wake up and something inside you will be different. Lighter, clearer. Like someone reached into your chest and removed a weight you'd carried so long you forgot it wasn't part of you. That's not relief, chosen one. That's realignment. God is shifting everything that carries your name, your relationships, your finances, your health, your purpose. He's taking what the enemy twisted and snapping it back into divine order. Romans 8:19 tells us that all of creation is groaning, waiting for the sons and daughters of God to be revealed. That groaning, that cosmic labor pain, it's not for everyone, it's for you. The veil between heaven and earth is thinning. This is not poetry, this is not imagination. This is visitation. Angels are positioning themselves around your life right now, warriors you cannot see, standing guard over doors you haven't even approached yet. And when God says now, when He gives the signal, those doors won't just open, they'll explode off their hinges. You feel tears right now, don't you? That tightness in your throat? That's not sadness. That's your spirit recognizing truth. That's awe colliding with fear, colliding with hope all at once. And your human body doesn't know how to hold it all. So let me ask you this. If heaven is shaking everything to align your life with divine destiny, what are you still holding on to that God is trying to shake loose? What false security? What toxic relationship? What small dream that's keeping you from the impossible one? If you've been feeling this trembling too, if your spirit is vibrating with recognition right now, comment 777. That's the number of divine completion. Let heaven see you acknowledging its movement. Let the algorithm know you're part of the remnant who refuses to sleep through their own resurrection. Because, beloved, the earthquake is here. The question is, will you stand in it or run from it? And what you decide in the next 60 seconds will determine the trajectory of the next 60 years. Beloved, let me tell you something that's going to crack your heart wide open tonight. For decades, maybe 30 years, maybe 50, maybe your entire lifetime you've been hidden, tucked away in obscurity, while others got promoted, celebrated, recognized. You watched younger people step into callings you prayed for. You sat in rooms where nobody asked your name. You carried gifts nobody wanted to unwrap. And somewhere along the way, you started believing a lie. You started thinking that the cave you've been living in was a grave, that the silence meant rejection, that God put you on a shelf and forgot which shelf it was. But what if I told you that every single day you spent hidden was not wasted, it was intentional? What if the cave was never your coffin? What if it was your construction site? Listen to me. In 1 Samuel 22, David, the anointed king, the giant slayer, the man after God's own heart, ran for his life into a cave, not a palace, a cave, dark, cold, alone. And the Bible says, everyone who was in distress, everyone in debt, everyone discontented, gathered to him there. 400 broken people in a hole in the ground. But here's what most preachers won't tell you. That cave wasn't punishment. It was preparation. God was building a king in the darkness, shaping a warrior in the silence, teaching David how to lead the broken before he could rule a nation. And right now, tonight, God is saying the same thing to you. Your loneliness, that was God's classroom. Your invisibility, that was divine insulation. While the world was loud and distracted, God had you in a sacred quarantine, protecting you, refining you, whispering secrets into your spirit that the crowds will never hear. You thought the delay disqualified you. It actually preserved you. Because if God had released you too soon, the weight of your assignment would have crushed you. If He had unveiled you too early, the attention would have destroyed you. If He had promoted you before the process was finished, you would have succeeded in a way that killed your soul. But now the construction is complete, the hidden season is over, and Isaiah 60:1 is exploding over your life tonight. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. Do you hear that? Arise, not stay hidden, not keep waiting. Arise, get up, step out, shine. I know what you're thinking. But I'm 70 years old. I'm 83. My best years are behind me. I missed my chance. No, you didn't miss anything. You were being hidden for such a time as this. Moses was 80 when God called him at the burning bush. Abraham was 100 when Isaac was born. Anna was 84 when she prophesied over baby Jesus in the temple. God doesn't operate on your timeline. He operates on his divine calendar. And tonight, your alarm just went off. The silence was not rejection, beloved. It was God protecting you from a world that wasn't ready for what he placed inside you. Your cave was not isolation, it was incubation. And now, the unveiling has begun. Heaven is pulling back the curtain on the hidden ones, the forgotten ones, the overlooked ones, the ones who stayed faithful when nobody was watching, the ones who worshipped in the dark, the ones who kept praying when the answers stopped coming. You are one of them. So let me ask you something that will echo in your spirit long after this video ends. If God kept you hidden this long, protected this carefully, and preserved this intentionally, what do you think he's about to release you into? Type "I'm still called" in the comments right now, because your story isn't over. It's just beginning, and heaven is rewriting your final chapter tonight. The hidden ones are being unveiled. And beloved, you're about to understand why God kept you in the cave so long. You've been giving your whole life, haven't you? Giving when your bank account screamed empty, giving when your body ached and your heart broke, giving when nobody noticed, nobody thanked you, nobody even remembered your name. You poured out love like water in a desert, and all you got back was dust and silence. And somewhere along the way, you started believing the cruelest lie the enemy ever whispered. Maybe God doesn't keep records. But tonight, beloved, I'm here to shatter that lie with the force of heaven itself. God keeps books, meticulous books, divine ledgers written in light where every tear you cried is catalogued, every prayer you whispered is documented, every sacrifice you made in secret is recorded in gold ink that never fades. Listen to me carefully. Heaven is not a charity. Heaven is a bank. And you, chosen one, have been making deposits your entire life without even knowing it. Every time you loved when it hurt. Every time you forgave when they didn't deserve it. Every time you stood up when your knees were shaking. Every time you gave your last dollar and trusted God for the next one. Every single moment of faithfulness deposited. And tonight, right now, the vaults of heaven are cracking open. You hear that sound? That's not thunder. That's the sound of divine locks turning, ancient doors swinging wide, celestial safes opening to release what's been held in storage with your name engraved on it. The word of the Lord in Joel 2:25 cuts through time like lightning. I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten. Did you catch that? Restore. Not give you something new. Not hand you charity. Restore what was stolen. Return what was taken. Repay what the enemy robbed while you were trying to survive. And Hebrews 6:10 seals it like a divine contract. God is not unjust to forget your work and labor of love. Read that again. God is not unjust. He doesn't operate on earth's broken economy. He doesn't forget. He doesn't overlook. He doesn't lose track of what you gave when nobody was watching. You gave when you had nothing, and heaven took notes. You stood in the gap for your family when your own foundation was crumbling, and angels wrote it down. You blessed others when you yourself needed blessing, and the courts of heaven logged it as evidence of your faith. And now comes the reckoning. Not the kind of reckoning that punishes, the kind that pays back with interest. Prophetically, I'm telling you, checks you forgot you were owed are about to show up in your mailbox. Opportunities you stopped praying for are about to hunt you down. Doors you gave up knocking on are about to swing open from the inside. Divine compensation is not charity, beloved. It's justice. It's heaven balancing the scales. It's God saying, enough. My child has suffered long enough. It's time. But here's what the enemy doesn't want you to understand: this wealth, this overflow, this supernatural surplus that's about to flood your life. It's not for luxury. It's for legacy. God isn't blessing you so you can buy bigger toys. He's blessing you so you can finance His kingdom, so you can heal the next generation, so you can be the answer to someone else's desperate prayer. You are not entering a season of scraps. You are entering a season of supernatural surplus. And if you believe, if something in your spirit is trembling with recognition right now, then I need you to do something. I need you to declare it out loud. Type it in the comments. Speak it into the atmosphere of your room. My vault is open, because declaration activates destiny. Agreement with heaven releases what's been locked up. Your words carry weight in the spirit realm, and when you speak in faith, angels move. So I'm asking you one more time, do you believe your vault is opening? Then say it. My vault is open. Heaven just heard you. And what happens next will leave you breathless. You've been sitting in that chair for the last 20 minutes thinking this message was for you. And you're right, it was. But here's what's about to shake you to your core. This message wasn't just meant to reach you. It was meant to flow through you. You are not heaven's audience anymore, beloved. You are heaven's echo. Let that sink in for a moment. Every word that's pierced your spirit tonight, every truth that's made your hands tremble, every revelation that's brought tears to your eyes, it wasn't given to you so you could hold it. It was given to you so you could release it. The mantle is falling right now, like embers from the throne room of God, burning through the atmosphere, landing on shoulders that the world called too old, too tired, too late. But God sees generals. God sees warriors. God sees the very ones He's been preparing in secret for 70, 80, 90 years for this hour. You think Moses was young when God called him to face Pharaoh? He was 80 years old. You think Sarah was in her prime when God gave her the promise that would birth nations? She was 90. You think Caleb was retiring when he said, "Give me this mountain"? He was 85 and ready to fight giants. So tell me, what lie have you been believing? That your age disqualifies you? That your season is over? That God's finished writing your story? Chosen one, your age is not your limitation, it's your authorization. Every year you've walked this earth, every trial you've survived, every betrayal you've overcome, every midnight you've prayed through, it wasn't wasted. It was training. You weren't being sidelined. You were being forged. And tonight, the hammer stops, the fire cools, and the sword is drawn. Because here's what the enemy hoped you'd never discover. You carry something in your spirit that this generation is starving for: wisdom, endurance, faith that's been tested by fire and refused to burn. When you open your mouth, demons tremble. When you lay hands on the broken, heaven moves. When you speak life over the dying, the atmosphere shifts. Your words will carry fire. Your presence will carry peace. But you have to open your mouth. You have to step forward. You have to stop hiding behind "I'm too old" and start declaring "I'm right on time." Listen to me carefully. There are people in your family who will never meet Jesus unless you become His voice. There are neighbors on your street who will die in darkness unless you become His light. There are young people drowning in confusion who will never find their way unless you become their compass. God didn't preserve your life this long so you could fade quietly into the background. He preserved you so you could roar in the final act. This is not the time to shrink back. This is not the season to play it safe. This is not the moment to whisper when God is handing you a megaphone. Your mouth is heaven's megaphone now. Every word you speak in faith, every prayer you pray in power, every truth you declare in love, it echoes in the spirit realm with the authority of the Ancient of Days. But here's where it gets real. Here's where theology becomes biography. Here's where this message stops being something you heard and starts being something you are. I need you to do something right now, not later, not when you feel ready. Right now, place your hand over your heart. Feel it beating? That's not just biology. That's divine assignment. That rhythm. That's the drumbeat of destiny. And in this moment, with every ounce of faith you can muster, I need you to say these words out loud. I accept the mission. Say it again, louder, with conviction. I accept the mission. Do you feel that shift? That's not emotion. That's commissioning. Heaven just moved. Angels just stood at attention. The enemy just felt his grip loosen. Because when a chosen one says yes to God, everything changes. Now I need you to seal this moment. Comment below. I accept the mission, not for me, not for this channel, for you. Because when you type those words, when you declare them in community, you're making a covenant. You're telling God, telling yourself, telling the kingdom of darkness, I'm no longer available for mediocrity. I'm stepping into my calling. And here's what breaks my heart wide open. Some of you are still hesitating, still questioning, still thinking, but what if I fail? What if I'm not strong enough? What if I don't have what it takes? Beloved, you're not waiting for revival. You are the revival. God didn't call you because you were perfect. He called you because you were willing. He didn't choose you because you had it all together. He chose you because you've been broken enough to let His light shine through the cracks. The world doesn't need more polished saints. It needs authentic warriors who've walked through hell and came out carrying heaven. You are the answer to someone's desperate prayer. You are the miracle someone's been waiting for. You are the voice someone needs to hear before they give up forever. So the question isn't whether you're qualified. The question is, will you go? Will you open your mouth and speak life? Will you lay hands on the sick and believe for healing? Will you stand in the gap for this generation and refuse to let darkness win? The mantle has fallen. The mission is clear. Heaven is waiting. What will you do with the fire God just placed in your hands? Beloved chosen one, as we come to the end of this sacred moment together, I need you to remember 3 unshakable truths that will anchor your soul in the days ahead. First, this message wasn't an accident. Heaven interrupted your scroll, broke through the noise, and found you because your calling is not finished, it's just beginning. Second, your age is not a disqualification, it's your greatest credential. Every year, every scar, every battle has prepared you for this hour. And third, you are not heaven's audience, you are heaven's echo. The message that reached you must now flow through you. But here's what I need you to know with absolute certainty. You are not walking this path alone. Even when the road feels impossible, even when doubt whispers lies about your worth, the same God who parted the Red Sea is still making ways where there are none. He hasn't brought you this far to abandon you now. And you have a family here, thousands of believers who understand your journey because they're living it too. We're praying for each other, standing with each other, rising together. You belong here. This is your community. So let me ask you one final question that will echo in your heart long after this video ends. When you stand before God someday, what will you say when He asks, "What did you do with the fire I placed in your hands?" Before you go, I want to place my hand on your shoulder through these words and pray over you with the authority of someone who has walked with God through every season. Heavenly Father, I lift up every precious soul hearing these words right now. Lord, you see their names, their struggles, their secret battles and unspoken dreams. Place your mighty hand upon them right now. Let them feel your presence like a warm embrace, reminding them they are loved beyond measure, chosen beyond understanding, and called beyond their own ability. Father, open every door that man has closed. Heal every wound that time hasn't touched. Restore every dream that disappointment has stolen. Give them strength for today, wisdom for tomorrow, and courage to speak when you call them to speak. Lord, I pray specifically over their families, their health, their finances, their peace. Where there's been division, bring unity. Where there's been sickness, bring healing. Where there's been lack, bring provision. Where there's been anxiety, bring your perfect peace that surpasses all understanding. And God, let every person watching step boldly into their mission, knowing you go before them, walk beside them, and have already prepared the way. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. Now, I want to hear from you. Comment below and share what God spoke to your heart tonight. Ask for prayer if you need it. This community will surround you. And if this message set something on fire in your spirit, share it with someone who needs to hear they're not forgotten, not broken beyond repair, and their greatest days aren't behind them, they're ahead. Thank you for staying with me through this entire journey. Thank you for opening your heart to receive what heaven wanted to pour into you tonight. If this message changed something in you, subscribe and hit that notification bell, not for my sake, but because God has more for you, and I want to be here when He pours out the next level of revelation. Remember, chosen one, the mission still stands, and so do you. God bless you mightily. Go forth and shine.